One of the things I read in the book is that you do know how to make a perfect omelet, but the smell of breakfast does what to you?
Well, during various low points of my not particularly distinguished career in the restaurant business, the only people who would hire me were for brunch jobs, because no matter how messed up my life was at the time, I could always cook 300 omelets in a few hours. And so for me, the smell of brunch and breakfast was always the smell of shame and defeat and humiliation and the lowest, most desperate, broke times of my life.
Okay.
Wow. So I hated it. But now, of course, I'm the father of a little girl, and I throw pancake parties with a little pancake bar for her and her sleepovers.
What's happened to you? Where's Anthony?
Teddy bear pancakes. They're awesome.
So what happens when you eat an omelet now? Do you find yourself like emotionally drawn to certain foods? I know it's something you mentioned.
Look, I think any dish that takes you back to a happy time in your childhood.
Yeah.
You got bullied at school, you came home crying in the rain and your mom made you some canned tomato soup with some saltine crackers on top. That will always be the flavor of love and, feeling better. So actually there's a recipe in this cookbook that is deliberately modeled on, crappy canned tomato soup, because those are the flavors that I associate with, that's the soup I need.
Yeah. Once in a while you need
comfort
that.
food. It's comfort food. But your basic tuna, right? Salad. We talked about sandwiches, the pork chop sandwich, all sorts of things, and even mac and cheese. What is the secret to your mac and cheese? Where do we go wrong?
Keep it simple. Smearing it with a little mayonnaise before you put it onto a griddle or into the pan adds something quite special. Keep the cheese choices reasonable. If you want to use fancy cheese, that's great.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with sticking with the classics.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Don't overcomplicate. So many great things that you eat, so many great things in gastronomy are really about just taking good ingredients and not messing them up.
Right.
Not abusing them or overcomplicating them.
How come you're not fat? I mean,
clean living.
That's good. That's
No, look, I train jiu-jitsu every morning. I do actually go to the gym. I try not to, I'm not sitting at home. I'll have a big, rich meal, pasta and cheese, but I'm not sitting around with, a bag of Cheetos in front of the TV. I move.
Yeah.
And what about in the airports and all the traveling? I mean, once you get on your episode, you're sitting down in a very specific place. That's one meal. You probably had to get 30 or 40 meals to get to that spot. So how do you manage?
Look, I don't do a lot of eating. If you see me shoving food into my face and a lot of drinks, on camera, I'm not going back to the hotel and having another meal.
That's it.
I organize my day around. If I know I'm having a huge Chinese banquet tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I'm not waking up and having a big stack of pancakes and sausage.
So you watch what you for sure. What's the one thing, and we're going to wrap up this recipe, Anthony, that you want us to know as we approach the kitchen? Because you've cooked for so many people for so long, and I'd mentioned in another segment that sometimes when you're just cooking for a small group of people, that can be intimidating. But you're Anthony Bourdain.
Look, organize.
Okay.
Have reasonable expectations of yourself. What can I do ahead of time? Your guests want to see you at the table.
Right.
You want to be able to spend time with them, presumably. So, you make compromises on how much do I want to do? How ambitious do I want to be in the kitchen? I don't want to be in there stirring risotto for 45 minutes while my guests are getting, angry drunk at the table waiting for me. So a lot of this is about, how to organize yourself and your mise en place, your station, your shopping, and your planning in such a way that you can actually have a good time at your own party.
I need you to make a promise. He's made a promise. That's why he's back. That's why he's back on the show. Will you come back and visit this show?
Sure thing.
Because I would love to see you again. Promise?
Will do.
Okay, we do. Okay, Chef Anthony Bourdain, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. All the recipes on Marilyn.ca.